Animals were defecating and urinating around the premises of the house, including my room.
Her cats were only on a trial basis for 3 months. She was going to leave them in San Francisco.
There were a number of situations in which she frightened me.
My baby,
That's completely unreasonable.
If you want to fight, I can get you boxing gloves, but we're not here for that. My first case ever with worms.
Come here, Sophie. Get him, Rusty.
Can I say something?
No. If she hadn't had an oral agreement, how do you do? You rented an apartment from the defendant?
Actually, I entered into a situation in which we were sharing a townhouse, and
Well, she was the landlord.
Correct, a co-occupant landlord.
Okay. What kind of a place was it?
It was a 3-story townhome in West Malibu, and I occupied a room on the top floor.
Okay.
That included a bathroom.
Was there a written agreement?
There was a temporary agreement that
Was it written?
It was written.
May I see it,
Yes.
please?
I'll take it. Just a second.
That's what he's paid to do.
Okay. If you like, I can.
How long?
Go
How
through the
long?
papers and-
How long was this for?
There, in the written agreement, it was stated that that was a temporary agreement until the defendant could draw up a permanent lease, and in the written agreement, it stipulated that it was on a trial basis, the living arrangements, as she had animals and I had animals.
How many animals did you have?
3 cats, and she had 1 cat and 2 dogs at the time that I moved in, and then for Christmas, she received a 3rd cat.
You had 3 cats?
I mean,
No,
I'm sorry,
I
a
have 2
second
cats.
2 cats and 2 dogs?
Yes.
Okay. How long? When did you move in?
I moved in, actually I was supposed to move in on November 31st, 1997, and I was actually not able to move in until December 2nd because she had a tenant who was already living
December
there.
2nd of 1990?
1997, Your Honor.
You gave her a security deposit?
I did.
How much?
I gave her a $1,000 security deposit, and then after I moved in, I gave her an additional $50 for a garage door opener, Your Honor.
Okay. And did you move out eventually?
I did.
When?
I moved out on January 31st, 1998.
Did you give her any notice that you were moving out?
Actually, we discussed it verbally on January the 22nd of 1998, and there had been a number of...
Pardon? We're going to have to... Can you keep the dog quiet? If you can't, we're going to have to take it out because I can't hear when the dog's barking.
No.
There had been a number of situations leading up to that event. She had actually evicted me on December 26, 1997. She gave me 30 days notice to vacate the premises.
Was that in writing?
It was in writing, and she later took it back and tore it up after I started crying, Your Honor. And she said that I could stay there, for a little while longer on a trial basis to see if it worked out.
No.
Did you give her 30 days notice to move out on December 26th?
December 26th, she gave me a letter, which she gave you a copy of, stating problems that she was having. And I said, if you're not happy, move out. And
Did you put it in writing?
I gave her a written notice, and she came downstairs and said, I don't want to move out, I want to stay here. And so we tore it up and hugged and said, okay, let's work it out. And I thought everything was fine.
She alleged that I ruined her $200 Christmas tree because there was a vent underneath the Christmas tree. I had moved in 3 weeks prior, did not know there was an event. She also alleged that the turning on of the heater had made her ill, and she got into a rage. And then the next day she got into a rage because I had cleaned up.
But this letter that you say was torn up.
Actually, the letter was not torn up. She gave me a notice that said, please move, this is notice to vacate the premises. The letter, Your Honor, is in that packet of papers. She had become enraged, Your Honor, about a number of instances that are cited in that letter.
What happened on January 22nd? You said that you talked about moving out on that date.
Yeah, I called her from work, Your Honor. I had prepared a written notice informing her of my intent to move out because the situation had become unbearable for myself and my cats due to the fact that her animals were defecating and urinating around the premises of the house, including my room. She was also alleging that the cats were scratching, and there were a number of situations in which she frightened me. And
Well, did she tell you that you could move out on the 22nd?
yes, she did.
And you moved out on the 31st?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you tell her she could move out?
No, it was a surprise. On the 31st, she was moving out, and I heard a lot of noise upstairs. And to my surprise, I went upstairs, and she had a couple of girls, and they were moving out furniture. And I said, "You didn't give me a 30-day notice."
Did you write this, "Dear Maggie, I will pay you your security deposit back within 15 days, love, Isle"?
Eileen, yes.
No, it doesn't say Eileen, it says EIL.
Well, yeah, well,
That's
how I
you?
said- yeah.
Okay, well, I understand, but
Okay.
the point is that,
I wrote her a letter.
why did you write her this
She
letter?
was standing there and wouldn't leave unless I gave her the security deposit, Your Honor. And I said, I have, 2 weeks. I want to go through and make sure that no damages have occurred. And legally I have two weeks to return it to you. And she says, I'm not leaving. So I wrote it out, and then I sent her a letter explaining why, and my feelings are, why I didn't give her security deposit back. And it was a 2-page letter that I have here in my file.
Let me see it.
I have a copy of it as well, Your Honor. I have the original. Number 5 on page 1, she does corroborate the fact that she had served me with 30-day notice to vacate. And actually, my understanding or interpretation of the events just described by the defendant are somewhat different. She had said to me that she didn't have the money at that time when I had moved out to give me my deposit back. And I said, well, I'm sorry you don't have the money, but here's the canceled check. I mean, I've paid you the money and I deserve it back. And she had had ample opportunity to inspect the room.
You're suing for $4,550.54. How do you come to that figure?
I came to that figure, I have a breakdown here, Your Honor, of from the time that it took me to re-rent out the unit was about 4 months, and I had a written agreement with her that she would stay for a year in my house. And her cats were only on a trial basis for 3 months. She was going to leave them in San Francisco. And I said, no, why don't you bring them down? Because I love animals. And I just said, give them a try. Even though I have animals, you'd have to keep them upstairs because I don't know how they're going to get along with my animals. And it would just be better if we kept them separate.
Your Honor?
You're talking about 4 months rent? How much is rent a month?
It was $1,000 a month.
So you want 4 months rent?
That's in the code, the civil code. I was just quoting,
1946?
it was 1950. I can't see with my glasses. 1951.2.
1951.2.
Yeah.
Did you give her notice of any damage that you were claiming?
Yes, I did. And in my
When was
letter
that?
to her. In my letter to her that you have right there, sir.
Well, this letter here asks for damages in the sum of $1,613 to $2,313.
Yeah, I've gotten a bill from my property manager for $300 to repair the floor. And he can't just do the one spot. He has to redo the whole floor. And there's water. I've got a picture of the water damage, and then there's scratches on the floor that you can't really see. And stop it. And he wanted to come in.
Let me see what you've got there.
Okay.
I'm not going to take time to read it on the bench. I'll read it in chambers, but I want the whole thing. Now.
Your Honor, she did not provide me with what I believe to be ample evidence of any damage that could be proven to be caused by my occupancy nor my cat's occupancy. I would also like to reiterate the fact that the whole arrangement was on a trial basis. There had been a number of situations that I would consider, and I'm not a legal expert, to be breach of contract. She evicted me. She, admits that she evicted me. I moved out because the situation was absolutely horrific. It was an insane environment that I just couldn't continue to live in, and I feared for my safety and my cat's safety, which is corroborated by what I wrote to her in the letter.
Okay.
And she flew into a rage several times. But there were animals all throughout the house, and I, did provide her. And you have evidence of a written statement that her cats, her dogs were defecating and urinating throughout the house. They were running around with their, fingernails. I mean, who's to say whose animals did the damage? I mean, they were.
What evidence do you have that her cats caused the damage, ma'am?
because that was in her bedroom, and she kept the door closed most of the time. And my property manager came the next day and gave me the estimate.
What did you do to try and rent the place?
I listed in the local Malibu newspaper. As far as Maggie being afraid, I think she's a paranoid person.
Do you have a temper?
I'm temperamental, but I don't have a temper.
You didn't scream at her, though.
No, I didn't scream at her.
Take a short recess. I'll come back, give you my decision.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, he came over to my house saying that my dog broke the window.
The other dog is a three-legged dog, is missing the one paw and the front leg, so it would be very difficult for him to break a window.
Remain seated and come to order. This court is again in session.
We have basically two complaints, one by the plaintiff, one by second plaintiff or defendant. So you're each plaintiffs and you're each defendants. As I read that temporary lease, you each were allowed to have animals. The plaintiff didn't have exclusive right to the loft. There was to be an extra charge if she was to have the exclusive right to it, which means that both animals, plaintiff's animals, defendant's animals, roaming up and down, you couldn't tell who caused damage. On January 31, apparently the defendant signed a piece of paper, it's a pink piece of paper. It said, "I'll pay you your security deposit soon," or whatever. And then she writes a letter on February 12th of 98, and she says that her damages are between $1,600 and $13 and $2,300. I can't imagine her saying on the 13th of January that she would give back the security deposit if she didn't check to see what damage was caused. So she doesn't wait until the 12th of February 98 to do that. And in that, she says, "I gave you 30 days written notice to vacate. You didn't give me any notice. You just left." But by saying that, what you did was to evict her. So she had a right to move out without giving you any notice. So my judgment is for the plaintiff, Schooner, for $905, for the defendant, nothing on her complaint.
I just felt that way because I felt like I was continually being harassed about things that were very small and minute and were unintentional. And I felt like I was constantly having to abide by a set of rules that were not evenly enforced on herself or her guests.
She made herself uncomfortable. All I did was tell the truth. And I don't run around screaming and yelling. I get along with most people. So I don't understand her come from on that. Like I said, I just told the truth.
I would also like to reinforce that I did tell the truth, and I think that the judge's ruling really reinforces that, you know, I had a very strong case and was just honestly trying to recover money that I had paid her.
The Animal Court is now in session. The Honorable Joseph A. Wapner, Judge presiding.
I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint, ma'am. Mm-hmm. You're telling me that the dog here, the defendant's dog, damaged a window to your house?
That's correct.
When did this happen?
November 2nd?
Last year?
Yes.
Did you see it happen?
No, I did not.
Did anyone?
Yes, my son Michael.
Michael, how old are you?
13.
Did you see what happened?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell me about it?
Their dog came into our backyard, and the three little kids were playing by, well, not playing, but reading and coloring books. And the dog came up to the window, wanted them to play with him, so he jumped on the window. The window broke. Luckily, we had put in safety glass. I had yelled to my brother that their dog had broke the window. So he came
Had you-
running in.
Excuse me just a minute. Did you know this dog? Had you seen the dog before?
Yes. Yes, I
You
have.
live in the neighborhood, sir?
Yes, sir, right next door.
Right next door. Okay. Does the dog often get into your yard?
It used to until it disappeared after it broke the window.
After it broke the window, okay. When were you didn't see this,
No,
obviously.
I didn't. I was at football practice at the time.
Okay. Where do you play football?
Coach, Ganesha High School in Pomona.
Good. You started the season yet?
We're getting ready to start on Saturday night.
Saturday night. You're going to
Ready
win?
go. Of course.
Oh,
all the
okay.
way.
All right. This your dog?
Yes, sir.
Do you know about this incident?
The first that I heard of the incident, I guess he came over to my house saying that my dog broke the window. And about a week or so later, I get a bill saying that we fixed this sliding glass door window. You have to pay me $127 for this window. Adult
75 cents.
75 cents too. Adult never came to my house. They like if she wasn't home, somebody should have came to my house, adult or something, let me know.
What difference does that make, sir?
Excuse me?
What difference does that make?
To me, it seems that if some of that importance, if I know if their dog broke my window, I would go over and see them. And nobody showed me a picture of the window. If that's the case, I could do it to my neighbor on the other side of me. I can repair
You
something.
think they made it up for $127.75?
I have no idea. But they have a lot of activity. They have 3 dogs of their own. They're always out playing baseball in the backyard. Who knows who broke that window?
He knows because he says he saw it.
But that's might be true. But it seems like that someone, adult,
You know what
would
it
have
is
came
to
over.
tell the truth, Michael?
Yes.
You ever tell a lie?
Yes.
How many times?
I'm not sure.
5?
I don't know.
10?
I don't know.
More than 10?
I don't know how many times I've told a lie.
Would you tell a lie? Are you telling a lie now?
No, I'm not.
What reason would you have to tell a lie, do you think?
Oh,
Did you break the window?
no, I did not.
Okay. Did your brother?
No, he was cooking dinner and I was playing the computer.
Do you have a receipt for the fixing this?
Yes, I do.
And I've never seen my dog in their yard, but their animals have been in my yard.
You
on
work
numerous
all day, don't you?
occasions. Huh?
You work most every day?
Yeah, but I see their animals in my yard.
Did you have anything broken, sir?
No, but tearing up. They tear up stuff. I got to go out there and clean it myself.
What day did he come over and tell you, Michael come over and tell you about this?
I didn't get it. He didn't never come tell me. I got a bill that was slipped in my mailbox for the window.
I thought you said he came over.
He came over initially and talked to my son.
Oh,
I wasn't home. My son was home. He answered the door.
How old are you, young man?
8.
What's your name?
Anthony.
Anthony?
Yeah,
Did he call you Tony or Anthony?
Anthony.
Anthony. Anthony, did Michael come over and tell you about this?
Yeah, and me and my sister.
You remember what the date it was? What
No.
day it was?
It was like last year sometime, I don't know.
Think it was in November?
I don't know.
What did he tell you?
He was like, well, your dog broke our window. Is your mom home? And I said, yes. And I just got her to the door and I went back in my room.
Anything else you want to add, man?
I just want to say that my husband had gone over several times, talked to Mr. Williams himself and his wife concerning the broken window.
That was after they presented me with a bill. Nobody came over and showed me, come look at this
I-
window.
Tell me, sir, would it have been any different if they told you about it without presenting a bill first?
No, because somebody have to see that dog break it. I don't know if he broke it. I mean, it's a lot of activity back there in that backyard. Like I say, they have 3 dogs of their own. So, I mean, I have 2 sliding glass doors, one on my bedroom, one on my patio. He hasn't broke my window. He hasn't jumped on my window.
Your Honor, I do have 2 dogs. The one dog was in the house at the time. The other dog is a 3-legged dog, is missing the one paw and the front leg, so it would be very difficult for him to break a window.
Okay. Take a short recess. I'll come back, give you my decision.
Remain seated and come to order. This court is again in session.
There are two bases for liability of the defendant. One is trespass by his animal. The other is he's off a leash, gets away, goes into the plaintiff's yard. Now, the defendant's argument is, well, I didn't see it happen. Might have been someone else. Could have been. And of course, that's always true. But he doesn't give me anything to prove it. He just says it. What we have is a credibility issue. We're talking about a 13-year-old young man who says that he saw it. He knows the defendant's dog. The dog's been in the yard before. It's refreshing that he tells me he's lied before. But it has to be about something material, and it's a question of whether he's lying now to get his mother $127.75. He hasn't been impeached by anything. No one said that he did anything to lie or to create this whole story. We tell people that the way a jury or a judge is to determine credibility is to look at the demeanor of the witness while testifying, the manner in which the witness testifies, character and quality of the testimony, the extent of the capacity of the person to perceive what he or she sees or says that he or she sees. And so I can't find any reason to disbelieve this young man. So that's what it boils down here to. The fact that he's 13 and came over and talked to your son, who's 8, it's a normal thing. He came over, you weren't there, so he told your son. That doesn't mean that he's not telling the truth. As a matter of fact, it's more evidence that he's telling the truth than not, because why is he going to go over there and tell you that this happened? My judgment is for plaintiff for $127.75.
Thank you.
To me, it seemed like that you would show someone something broken before you would put money into repair and giving that person an opportunity to repair it.
I have 5 children, and all 5 children watched the accident happen. 3 of the children were right by the sliding glass door when it happened. So when I came, I got a phone call from my son telling me that the dog from the neighbors had come in and broken the window. I came home and there was shattered pieces all over the place. I have one dog that stays in the house. The other dog's a 3-legged dog, so I don't know how a 3-legged dog could break a window.
I've never seen my dog in their yard, like I say, but their animals have been in my yard on numerous occasions, and they know that.